Hello, and again, welcome to the Aperture Science Computer Aided Enrichment Center. We hope your brief detention in the relaxation vault has been a pleasant one. Your specimen has been processed, and we are now ready to begin the test proper. Before we start, however, keep in mind that although fun and learning are the primary goals of all Enrichment Center activities, serious injuries may occur. For your own safety and the safety of others, please refrain from... Por favor, ¿por dónde? Turn back. The portal will open in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, welcome to the world of Portal. The only game where you are a mute psychopath with the acrobatics potential of a monkey. Oh, wait. A mute psycho? I think I've covered something like this before. Anyways, so if you remember my last video, I mentioned I'd be covering Aperture in more detail. Well, I talk about the history when we get to it. Because I'm testing a new formula here, seeing if you guys would like it if I cover the history as we learn about it. If you guys like that, tell me. If you don't, you know what to do. Tell me. Anyways. Where were we? Well, boy oh boy, this place is fucked 8 ways to Sunday. Anyways. You are Chell, a girl who had to have fucked up in some way to be trapped down here. Chell awakens from stasis and starts going through some puzzles assisted by the intercom AI thing, GLaDOS. She guides us through the facility and kind of informs us on the basic situation of where we are, what we're doing, why we're doing it, and exactly what's going on, giving us little hints and telling us what to do and what not to do. It's either intercom or an AI. It's not really said at the beginning, but oh boy, we know by the end. Anyways, but as we go through this facility, we deal with more and more harder tasks. But Chell notices that there is no scientist watching her, and that the automated voice is reacting to her in shockingly real time. And you know, she has found a man, or well, his scribblings, known as Doug Ratman. We'll cover him in a minute. But he leaves scribblings of companion cubes, and the cake is a lie, and a bunch of things just scribbled across there. As he obviously lived in those areas for a period of time. But anyways, so yeah, after we beat all of it, she tries to kill us, but we manage to barely escape, and she tries to keep up the act for a little bit, but eventually she drops the entire act to keep up, and tries to trick us into going into our own death. But we don't listen to a word, and we work around the facility trying to get to her and shut her down for good. And we get some information on the company, like GLaDOS means Genetic Lifeform and Disk Operating Systems. But anyways, we make it into her chamber, and well, I think she is not particularly happy with us. Okay. Now it's time to cover things in a little more detail. So, yeah, I was a little vague. This script was a tad bit rushed. But anyways, so in the first couple of test chambers, we just do basic move thing here challenge. Then as we progress, we deal with energy pellets, which look shockingly similar to the ones that the Combine shoot out of their A2 assault rifle, I believe. And yeah. On top of that, Aperture has already cracked portal technology way in the 1990s, before even the events of, I believe, Black Mesa. Meaning, or Half-Life 1, forgive me. Oh, I wonder if the commentator's going to return. You know who you are. Anyways, during the events of the Black Mesa incident, Half-Life 1, the Resistance Cascade, no one else really figured out how localized portal tech works, but Cade Johnson here already has it. But anyways, as we go through the facility, we also encounter turrets and learn Android Hell is a very real place where they're all going to get sent if they fail to kill their test subjects. And with that being said, the fact Android Hell exists, is it a real place, or is it like a state of mind GLaDOS can put them into? Because if you could just flick a button and boom, Robot Hell, oh, that would be terrifying to think about. So we go through more of the facility, dealing with a bunch of tests, some of them starting to get a little dangerous. And overall, eventually, we go into the incinerator, we escape, and we learn that, there's a lot more going on here. We go through the back bowels, which she can feel us running through the facility, meaning she is not just an AI overseeing the facility, she is the facility. But something in Portal 2 I'll explain later makes you kind of wonder if this facility is a little more alive than we give it credit for. And, as we go through the back ends of the facility, we learn quite a bit, but not too much, about how Black Mesa is a competitor to Aperture Science, a big one that has stolen stuff before, and has a lot of designs that are shockingly similar to stuff that Black Mesa would develop years after everything happened. Which brings up a lot of questions. But that aside, we learned something about the Red Phone Protocol. A little bit, I believe we learned this before Portal 2, I believe. Essentially, if shit goes down, blow it up, and boom. But anyways, GLaDOS is not happy with us. Seeing how, we broke into her home and, well, play the clip.
Well, you found me. Congratulations. Was it worth it? Because despite your violent behavior, the only thing you've managed to break so far is my heart. Maybe you could settle for that and we'll just call it a day. I guess we both know that isn't going to happen. You chose this path. Now I have a surprise for you. Deploying surprise in 5, 4... Time out for a second. That wasn't supposed to happen. Do you see that thing that fell out of me? What is that? It's not the surprise. I've never seen it before. Never mind, it's a mystery I'll solve later. By myself. Because you'll be dead. Where are you taking that thing? I wouldn't bother with that thing. My guess is that touching it will just make your life even worse, somehow. I don't want to tell you your business, but if it were me, I'd leave that thing alone. Do you think I'm trying to trick you with reverse psychology? I mean, seriously now. Okay, fine. Do touch it. Pick it up and just stuff it back into me. Let's be honest. Neither one of us knows what that thing does. Just put it in the corner, and I'll deal with it later. In this room, trust me, leave that thing alone. I am being serious now. That crazy thing is not part of any test protocol. You're kidding me. did you just stuff that Aperture Science thing, we don't know what it does, into an Aperture Science emergency intelligence incinerator? That has got to be the dumbest thing that. Whoa. Good news. I figured out what that thing you just incinerated did. It was a morality core they installed after I flooded the enrichment center with a deadly neurotoxin to make me stop flooding the enrichment center with a deadly neurotoxin. So get comfortable while I warm up the neurotoxin emitters. Huh. That core may have had some ancillary responsibilities. I can't shut off the turret defenses. Oh well. If you want my advice, you should just lie down in front of a rocket. Trust me. It'll be a lot less painful than the neurotoxin. What's your point anyway? Survival. Well then, the last thing you want to do is hurt me. I'll have your brain scanned and permanently backed up in case something terrible happens to you. Which it's just about to. Don't believe me? Here, I'll put you on. That's you. That's how dumb you sound. You've been wrong about it.
You're not smart. You're not a scientist. You're not a doctor.
You're not even a full-time employee.
Where did your life go so wrong? Are you trying to escape? Things have changed since the last time you were forgotten. What's going on up here? What makes you wish you were back in here? I haven't talked about this around school and it's sometime in the past. I don't know what I'm
Okay, here we go. Where is my phone? Yeah, there we are. So we end up making the facility go up in flames, and we learn, or rather it's heavily implied, she made some sort of deal with the Combine, and we learn what happened to everyone. It's called deadly neurotoxins, or testing. Anyways, we get dragged back into the facility by a Porty escort bot. Okay, we got a lot of information now to work with. So, GLaDOS has these personality cores hooked up to her. And these things regulate her personality. For what reason, we learn a little later in the Doug Bradman comic that I'll talk about briefly in a minute. But these are attached onto her, and each one of them has their own personality. And as we burn them, she gets more unraveled, more angry, more childish, more psychotic. And it all leads up to when the facility gets sucked up into the surface, and a Porty escort bot pulls us back into the facility, since we accidentally assumed that position. And it is heavily implied she struck some deal with the Combine, Because why the fuck else wouldn't they have found this by now? Because this does canonically take place sometime after... sometime during Half-Life 2, I believe. It's been kind of confirmed, pseudo. And, with that being said, it is, like, definitely implied that maybe that's how they gained access to turrets, the energy ball that comes out of the A2 assault rifle, because, well, this stuff is integrated into the facility and has been there for years. There's no way that the Combine would have given this technology to her, meaning she had it and probably gave it to them so they wouldn't invade the facility, you know, an uneasy alliance. And seeing how it's an AI, and she might have just been like, there's no humans down here. The Combine might have been like, well, okay, we go down there to try to disable the thing, we'd be losing a lot of people for no reason, because for all we know, there's nothing of use down there. My theory is they were like, okay, what are the pros and cons? That makes no fucking sense. Let's not go down there. That right there, we'd lose thousands of people for what? Some fucking AI and no people and just some fucking robots? What's the point? Anyways. So, anyways, so the Doug Ratman comic. I have no footage for this comic because, the pain in my ass it would be to get it for outweighs much. I talk about, anyways, he was the person working on the personality course until everything went down. And he kind of survived by hiding and going through the back parts of the facility. The key part of info is he has schizophrenia and suffers from hallucination, which GLaDOS uses to make him think he might be going crazy. At some point, he gets a companion cube and finds and saves Chell. Before going into stasis, until whenever he wakes up. But our story continues in Portal 2, which will allow me to talk about a lot of the lore I've been resisting to, to test this new format of videos. So I'm going to cover a bit more of the Portal 2. So, the Doug Ratman comic, we learn that he went out of his way to make it where Chell would be tested sooner. Because she was near the bottom, and it was for two key reasons. She will never give up, and she's stubborn. Which is the only reason she was so far down on the list. Like, she was the perfect test subject outside of those two prerequisites. And there are people below her, and a lot of people have genuinely said, oh my god, if Chell was this bad, imagine how bad he would be. And I was like, and a thought popped into my brain where I was like, what if, hear me out, what if, in particular, the people around her in the bottom of the list are just awful, but still testable, while she is just stubborn, and that's why why they don't want to use her. Anyways, we learn a bit about Doug Ratman through this comic. Again, it's been like years since I've read it, but from what I remember, they were working on the personality course, and I believe he was working on specifically Wheatley, because they were trying to make it where GLaDOS did neurotoxin the entire facility. But during Bring Your Cat to Work Day, she wanted a cat and a itty bitty bit of the neurotoxin. And when they did that, she seized full control of the facility, and, well, we know that happened. But he survived and has schizophrenia pills, of course. But as time goes on, he runs out of them and has like 2 or 1 that he is saving for when he needs it. And, you know, we get flashbacks and learn about how a couple things were being worked on. And in the background, on a table in one of the comic pages, there is a grav gun and something else. I can't remember, but I know there's a grav gun there, which means Aperture did design it before the Resonance Cascade. Because everybody died during the events of Black Mesa. During the Black Mesa incident, if I remember the timeline correctly. Okay. In the timeline, if I remember correctly. It's been a minute. And we essentially learn... Okay. But anyways, at some point he obtains a companion cube, and if I remember correctly, he gets shot and has to go into stasis because of that. And he put Chell in stasis on a reserve power, so she couldn't be woken up until the time was right. Which is what leads us perfectly, mind you, which is a rare event, perfectly into Half-Life 2. Or Portal 2. Fuck. I'm stupid.
Good morning. You have been in suspension for 50 days. In compliance with state and federal regulations, all testing candidates in the Aperture Science Extended Relaxation Center must be revived periodically for a mandatory physical and mental wellness exercise. You will hear a buzzer. When you hear the buzzer, look up at the ceiling. Good. You will hear a buzzer. When you hear the buzzer, look down at the floor. Good. This completes the gymnastic portion of your mandatory physical and mental wellness exercise. There is a framed painting on the wall. Please go stand in front of it. This is art. You will hear a buzzer. When you hear You should now feel mentally reinvigorated. If you suspect staring at art has not provided the required intellectual sustenance, reflect briefly on this classical music. Good. Now please return to your bed. Good morning. You have been in suspension for 9999999. This courtesy call is to inform you that
Anyone in
all
there?
test subjects should vacate the enrichment
Hello?
center immediately. Any test subject...
Are you... Ah! Oh, God. You look... good. Looking good, actually. Are you okay? Are you... Don't answer that. I'm absolutely sure you're fine. There's plenty of time for you to recover. Just take it.
Please prepare for emergency evacuation.
Stay calm. Stay calm. Prepare. That's all I'm saying. Prepare. It's all fine. All right? Don't move. I'm going to get us out of here. Oh, you might want to hang on to something. Word of advice. Up to you. You all right down there? Can you hear me? Hello? Most test subjects do experience some cognitive deterioration after a few months in suspension. Now, you've been under for quite a lot longer, and it's not out of the question that you might have a very minor case of serious brain damage. But don't be alarmed, all right? Although if you do feel alarmed, try to hold on to that feeling, because that is the proper reaction to being told that you've got brain damage. Do you understand what I'm saying at all? Does any of this make any sense? Just tell me, just say yes. Okay, what you're doing there is jumping. You just jumped. But never mind. Say apple. Apple. Okay, you know what? That's close enough. Just hold tight.
All reactor core safeguards are now non-functional. Please prepare for reactor core meltdown.
Okay, look, I wasn't going to mention this to you, but I'm in pretty hot water here. How you doing down there? You still holding on? The reserve power ran out, so of course the whole relaxation centre stops waking up the bloody test subjects. Hold on, this is a bit tricky. And of course, nobody tells me anything. No, why should you tell me anything? Why should I be kept informed? You know, about the life functions of the 10,000 bloody test subjects I'm supposed to be in charge of. Why? It's close. Can you see? Am I gonna make it through? Have I got enough space? Just gotta get through here. Okay, I just gotta concentrate. And whose fault do you think it's gonna be when the management comes down here and finds 10,000 flipping vegetables? Alright, so now I hear that one. I hear that one. Okay, listen, we should get our story straight, alright? If anyone asks, and no one's gonna ask, don't worry, but if anyone asks, tell them as far as you know, the last time you checked, everyone looked pretty much alive. Alright? Not dead. Okay, almost there. On the other side of that wall is one of the old testing tracks. There's a piece of equipment in there that we're gonna need to get out of here. I think this is a docking station. Get ready. Good news, that is not a docking station. So there's one mystery solved. I'm going to attempt a manual override on this wall. Could get a bit technical. Hold on. Almost there. Remember, you're looking for a gun that makes holes. Not bullet holes. But don't worry, you'll figure it out. Seriously, do hold on this time. There we go. Now, I'll be honest, you are probably in no fit state to run this particular type of cognitive gauntlet. But at least you're a good jumper. So you got that, you got the jumping on your side. Just do your best, and I'll meet you up ahead.
Hello, and again, welcome to the Aperture Science Enrichment Center. We are currently experiencing technical difficulties due to circumstances of potentially apocalyptic significance beyond our control. However, thanks to emergency testing protocols, testing can continue. These pre-recorded messages will provide instructional and motivational support so that science can still be done, even in the event of environmental, social, economic, or structural collapse. The portal will open, and emergency testing will begin in 3, 2, 1.
Okay. So this place is bigger, and and that's just this area alone. I can imagine how big this place would be, or just how hot it would be in that place, because, you know, the lower you go into the earth, the hotter it gets. The AC must be insane, otherwise Chell would have had a heat stroke by now. Anyways, so this little British ball wants us to help him escape, but the only way through would be through her chamber, and, well, as if it's to say that to say it went well is a lie. Okay, now we go in a bit more detail. So Wheatley, it's like, yo, what's up? Hello, mind helping me? And of course we do. We have no choice. So as we go through to there, we enter some of the original test chambers that has a PA system being like, yo, I'm going to help you. Like, that hasn't betrayed us before. And as we go through the facility, it is destroyed. We have definitely been in stasis for so long. Anyways, as we go through some of the old testing tracks that have been destroyed by years, we kind of gain information of the fact that Aperture did indeed, had the ideal that there might be some apocalyptic scenarios, and kind of had their facility set up in a way where you could experiment even during the end of the world or post-apocalyptic, they had kind of measures for that, which, outside of the moronic things they've done, this is actually kind of the smartest thing Cave Johnson has ever highlighted. Well, Carolyn, but we'll learn about her later. Oh, we'll learn a lot about her later. Anyways, so we eventually get a portal gun that can shoot only one-way portals. We go through a couple test chambers until Wheatley's like, hey, if I disconnect from the rail, I might die. Disconnects, hits the ground, and then we start going through the back areas of the facility towards her chamber, which Wheatley says we shouldn't worry about. We're just trying to find a way out. And he didn't know she was dead, meaning a lot of things, meaning nobody knew she was dead, which is a horrifying idea. And walking into the room made me feel uncomfy. But anyways, that being said, there's a clip I must play, and will actually be the last one I play for a minute.
Probably ought to bring you up to speed on something right now. In order to escape, we're going to have to go through her chamber, and she will probably kill us if she's awake. Okay, I'm going to lay my cards on the table. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go in there. Don't go in there. She's off. She's off. Don't panic over. She's off. All fine. On we go. There she is. What a nasty piece of work she was, honestly. Like a proper maniac. Do you know who ended up taking her down in the end? You're not going to believe this. A human. I know. I wouldn't have believed either. Apparently this human escaped and nobody's seen him since. Then there was a sort of long chunk of time where absolutely nothing happened. And then there's us escaping now. So that's pretty much the whole story. You're up to speed. Don't touch it. Okay, down these stairs. Jump! Actually, look at it. That is quite a... Ah! Oh, still held! Still being held. That's a great job. You've applied the grit. We're all fine. That's tremendous. Ah! I just looked down. I do not recommend it. Ah! I've just done it again. This is the main breaker room. Let's go in. Look for a switch that says escape pod. Alright, don't touch anything else. Not interested in anything else. Don't touch anything else. Don't even look at anything else. Just, well, obviously you've got to look at everything else to find the escape pod. But as soon as you look at something and it doesn't say escape pod, look at something else. Look at the next thing, alright? But don't touch anything else or look at anything. Well, look at other things, but don't. You understand. Can you see it anywhere? I can't see it anywhere. Tell you what, plug me in and I'll turn the lights on. Let there be light. That's, God. He's quoting God. Oh, look at that! Turning. Ominous. But probably fine, as long as it doesn't start, moving up. Now. Escape pod. It's moving up. Okay, no, don't worry. I've got it. This should slow it down. No, it makes it go faster. Uh-oh.
Power up initiated.
Okay, don't panic. All right, stop panicking. I can still stop this. Oh, there's a password. Okay, it's fine. I'll just hack it. Not a problem. C. Wait, did I do beat the Gerald head? Start writing these down.
Power up complete.
I don't. Okay. Listen. All right, new plan. Act natural. We've done nothing wrong. Hello.
Oh, it's you.
You know her?
It's been a long time. How have you been? I've been really busy being dead. You know, after you murdered me.
You did what? Oh no! Oh no!
Okay, look, we both said a lot of things that you're going to regret. But I think we can put our differences behind us. For science. You monster. I will say, though, that since you went to all the trouble of waking me up, You must really, really love to test. I love it too. There's just one small thing we need to take care of first.
Okay. Where were we? Okay, so she is not happy. Oh, with some would say she hates us with every inch of wire in that body. Anyways, so, she now has a vendetta against us, and, Wheatley got, murked. We go through some more test chambers that are a little fucked up, to say the least. And, this time she has a ton of new tricks that are fun. A lot of new puzzles are fun if your brain is not the equivalent of a box of rocks. As we go through there, Wheatley is actually alive and working for Nanobox or some shit like that. But, he tries to help us escape. Okay. Going back into a bit more detail. So, afterwards, she, tells us to get our old portal gun and tells us that she had to watch her own death indefinitely from the time we went to sleep to the time that we woke up and woke her up by accident. Jesus Christ. Imagine how fucking terrifying of a thought that'd be. Like, dude. I could not imagine the existential fear of watching my own death over and over and over and over. Indefinitely, forever. So, yeah, she is not happy with us. But as we go through the facility, we learn about hard light bridges, lasers, which means Aperture invented lasers in the 1960s. Information we have from later on. Meaning, they've had lasers before anyone. I wonder where they've got the fat stacks from. Fun fact, I don't remember which president, but one of them wanted like a fucking death laser or some shit because they watched Star Wars, I think. I don't fully remember the fun fact, but it was something like that. It was something like that, I genuinely can't remember. Or it was something to do with Independence Day. Both of those films have... Fuck! I just drank. There was no more juice in a bottle I had, so I tried to toss it into the trash can. I fucking missed. My aim is shit. Anyway, so at some point Wheatley was picked up and prepared, or some shit, I don't remember. But he managed to work his way onto a nano, whatever the fuck it was. It's been a while since I played the game. Far too long. I should have had the script finished a long time ago. If I had it finished when I would have, I would have had so many videos ready to be pumped out. Anyways, so, with all that out of the way, Wheatley's like trying to help us escape, but yeah. Well, boy oh boy, helping us escape put him somewhere he probably should have never have been. Inside Gladys's body.
What's going on? Who turned off the lights?
Hey, buddy!
I'm speaking in an accent that is beyond her range of hearing.
Look, Metal Ball, I can hear you.
Run! I don't need to do the voice. Run! 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 Come on, I'm closing the doors. Okay, quick recap. We are escaping. Alright, that's what's happening now. We're escaping. So you're doing great. Just keep running. Quick word about the future plans that I've got in store. We're going to shut down her turret production line, alright? Turn off her neurotoxin and then confront her. Again, though, for the moment, run! Come on, come on, come on!
The irony is you were almost at the last test. Here it is. Why don't you just do it? Trust me, it's an easier way out than whatever asinine plan your friend came up with.
Oh, what? How stupid does she think we are? Oh! Come on, over here, this way! Come on, come on! Ah! What's going on in there? Can you get out? We have to get you out of there! I heard gunfire! I didn't make it, but I look out for gunfire. Probably doesn't help at this point, but I have at least tried. You're okay? Great, come on! This way, this way! Turret! Go, 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 go! There's the exit! We're almost out of here! Bringing the whole place back! Hurry! Hurry! This way! Hurry! This way! Get in the lid! We made it! We made it! We made it! We made it! I'll meet you on the other side!
Erg. Okay, so... So, we are now frantically running through, the facility. Trying our best to stay alive. While sabotaging her whole plan to kill us. And we might have been there for...
Ah, brilliant! You made it through. Well done. Okay, follow me. We've still got work to do. At least she can't touch us now. Okay. Okay, don't move. Okay. All right.
Okay, besides whatever I wrote down in the script, I think I forgot to delete that. Anyways, so at some point we go through the neurotoxin production plant, cut the lines, and the turret production line. We also make it where they now only produce, defective ones.
They say that the old caretaker of this place.
We managed to get to her facility and, yeah.
They say at night.
Why did I turn off my phone? Okay, so now we're going to cover things a little more in depth. Okay, so I also want to cover something. Like, the plates look like they move when they kind of want to, and they're a little more sentient, which is a horrifying ideal. Doors are alive, and they have spirits and gender identities, which, Jesus Christ, that is horrifying to think of. Imagine being a fucking door. Oh man, that must really suck, dude. Anyways, so Wheatley tries to talk to us in a vocabulary outside of her. Tries to talk to us in a voice beyond her hearing. And then we had to run through the back end of the facility while sabotaging everything she kind of has we also stumble upon the potato thing, which means Chell might have been a scientist might have been there at one point, because the potato thing says Shell. During Bring Your Daughter to Work Day, random year insert there that a lot of people say destroy the lore. But hey, what do I know? Do you want to be held, Cat? I'll hold you. Oh, are you happy with yourself? Now you got all the lovings you could ever want. Anyway, so during that time, we. What are you doing? Are you happy? You comfortable? Oh, you went down. Why did you stare at me for minutes? What do you want? Mystery of Cat Society. Oh, wait. I think I know what you want. You want me to get the beanbag out for you, don't you? There you go. The beanbag's perfectly good for you now. Please do not bother the recording equipment anymore. Anyways, so. Yeah, as we go through the back of the facility, she tries to trick us with promises of seeing a deer. And going outside. We don't fall for it because we're not a moron. At least I'm not. And, ooh. As we go through the back of the facility, we learn what android hell is. A conveyor belt turning you into death. Cat... giving me that look. You know that look cats give you? This cat's giving me that look. Anyways. That aside, yeah. We sabotage the neurotoxins by using a laser to cut them off, and the tubes contract, and it says, and I quote, lack of deadly neurotoxin detected, critical failure. And we also destroy the turret production line because it has a test model it scans to make sure that that is a okay model. But we switched it out for a defective model, thus proving that every model from then on would be a defective one. Which is kind of insane. And then we get sucked through and placed into a glass box, which we have our confrontation with GLaDOS for a second time, and it did not go well, and we learned a revelation.
Easy one. If I'd known you let yourself get captured this easily, I would have just dangled a turkey leg on a rope from the ceiling. Well, it was nice catching up. Let's get to business. I hope you brought something stronger than a portal gun this time. Otherwise, I'm afraid you're about to become the immediate past president of the Being Alive Club. Seriously, though, goodbye.
It's my big chance. This is trouble. Not yet. Here comes Doc. Locked and loaded.
Oh, you were busy back there. Well, I suppose we could just sit in this room and glare at each other until somebody drops dead. But I have a better idea. It's your old friend, deadly neurotoxin. If I were you, I'd take a deep breath and hold it.
Hello.
I hate you so much.
Warning, Central Core is 80% corrupt.
That's funny. I don't feel corrupt. In fact, I feel pretty good.
Alternate core detected.
Oh, that's me they're talking about.
To initiate a core transfer, please deposit substitute core in receptacle.
Core transfer. Oh, you...
Substitute core accepted. Substitute core, are you ready to start the procedure?
Yes.
Corrupted core, are you ready to start the procedure?
No.
Oh, yes she is.
No.
Stalemate detected. Transfer procedure cannot continue.
Yes.
Unless a stalemate associate is present to press the stalemate resolution button.
Pull me out. Leave me in. Leave me in. Don't press it.
Don't do it.
Yes, do it.
Don't press that button. Not so fast. Think about this. You need to be a trained stalemate associate to press that button. You're unqualified.
Okay, don't listen to her, alright? It is true that you don't have the qualifications.
Stalemate resolved.
Here we go! Wait, what if this hurts? What if this really hurts? Ah, I didn't think of that.
Oh, it will. Believe me, it will.
Are you just saying that, or is it really gonna hurt? You're just saying that, aren't you? No, you're not. It is gonna hurt, isn't it? Exactly how painful are we? Ah!
No! Stop! No! 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 No!
Wow! Check me out, partner. We did it! I'm in control of the whole facility now. Whoa! Would you look at this? Not too bad, eh? Giant robot. Massive. It's not just me, right? I am bloody massive, aren't I? Oh, right, yeah, the escape lift. I'll call it now. There we go. Lift called. Look how small you are down there. Let me tell you, I knew it was going to be cool to be in charge of everything. But, wow, this is cool. And check this out. I'm a bloody genius now.
Estás usando este software de traducción de forma incorrecta. Por favor, consulte el manual.
I don't even know what I just said, but I can find out. Oh, sorry, no, the lift. Yes, sorry, I keep forgetting. This body's amazing, seriously. I can't get over how small you are, but I'm huge. Actually, why do we have to leave right now? Do you have any idea how good this feels? I did this. Tiny little Wheatley did this.
You didn't do anything. She did all the work.
Oh, really? That's what the two of you think, is it? Well, maybe it's time I did something then.
What are you doing?
No! No! No!
And don't think I'm not onto you too, lady. You know what you are? Selfish. I've done nothing but sacrifice to get us here. And what have you sacrificed? Nothing. Zero. All you've done is boss me around. Well, now who's the boss? Who's the boss? It's me. Ah! See that? That is a potato battery. It's a toy for children. And now she lives in it. Sorry, what?
The engineers tried everything to make me behave, to slow me down. Once, they even attached an intelligence dampening sphere on me. It clung to my brain like a tumor, generating an endless stream of terrible ideas.
No, not listening, not listening.
It was your voice.
No, you're lying, you're lying.
You're the tumor. You're not just a regular moron. You're designed to be a moron.
I am not a moron!
Yes, you are. You're the moron they built to make me an idiot.
Well, how about now? Now who's a moron? Could a moron punch you into this pit? Ah! Could a moron do that? Uh-oh.
Oh, hi. So, how are you holding up? Because I'm a potato. Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing. So we have that. Since it doesn't look like we're going anywhere, well, we are going somewhere, alarmingly fast actually. But since we're not busy other than that, here's a couple of facts. He's not just a regular moron. He's the product of the greatest minds of a generation, working together with the express purpose of building the dumbest moron who ever lived. And you just put him in charge of the entire facility. Good, that's still working. Hey, just in case this pit isn't actually bottomless, do you think maybe you could unstrap one of those long fall boots of yours and shove me into it? Just remember to land on one foot.
break's over. Cat break's over. Let me just quickly take a sip of some water and let's get into this. Oh, I fucking missed that by a metric mile. Okay. Anyways. So. Okay, so we get Wheatley. Okay, so during the battle, we get Wheatley in charge. I'm just gonna read it. There it is. Okay, so we get Wheatley in charge, and all that power immediately goes to his head, and it turns out from GLaDOS, he is a moron personality core. We just put what the smartest minds of a generation put with the express goal of making the dumbest thing to ever exist in charge of this place. Yeah. Suffice it to say, we fucked up, like, real bad. After Earth falling. Okay. So we learned from Potatoes that Wheatley is the smartest people of a generation, all putting every inch of their effort to make the dumbest creature that has ever existed. This thing was in the vague hope to make her dumb. He is a literal brain tumor. We just put him in control of the entire fucking facility. He was going to free us, but then British people, they're all evil, so then he brought us back down. My evidence for British people being evil? Well, the spiffing Brit said it himself. All British people are evil. A British person told me British people are evil. Therefore, I am correct. I say that with all love, UK. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't exist. So I have some respect for British people. Now, the French. Now those baguette eaters. I said baguette and my cat just yawned. Respect to you, sir. Anyways. After falling for long enough to make me question how far down we are. Anyway, so we enter the center of the Earth at this fucking point. We start going through some old some of the old test tracks and kind of learning about just how fucking crazy and awesome the CEO of Aperture Science is. The man, the myth, the motherfucking legend, Cave Johnson. Play some of the fun clips. Some fun ones and some serious ones for story and lore.
Welcome, gentlemen, to Aperture Science. Astronauts, war heroes, Olympians, you're here because we want the best. And you are it. So, who is ready to make some science?
I am.
Now, you already met one another on the limo ride over, so let me introduce myself. I'm Cave Johnson. I own the place. That eager voice you heard is the lovely Carolyn, my assistant. Rest assured, she has transferred your honorarium to the charitable organization of your choice. Isn't that right, Carolyn?
Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson.
She's the backbone of this facility. Pretty as a postcard, too. Sorry, fellas. She's married. To science. There's 1,000 tests performed every day here in our enrichment spheres. I can't personally oversee every one of them, so these pre-recorded messages will cover any questions you might have and respond to any incidents that may occur in the course of your science adventure. Your test assignment will vary depending on the manner in which you have bent the world to your will. Those of you helping us test the repulsion gel today, just follow the blue line on the floor. Those of you who volunteered to be injected with praying mantis DNA, I've got some good news and some bad news. Bad news is we're postponing those tests indefinitely. Good news is we've got a much better test for you. Fighting an army of Mantis men. Pick up a rifle and follow the yellow line. You'll know when the test starts. If you've cut yourself at all in the course of these tests, you might have noticed that your blood is pure gasoline. That's normal. We've been shooting you with an invisible laser that's supposed to turn blood into gasoline, so all that means is it's working. They say great science is built on the shoulders of giants. Not here. At Aperture, we do all our science from scratch. No hand-holding. All right, let's get started. This first test involves something the lab boys call repulsion gel. You're not part of the control group, by the way. You get the gel. Last poor son of a gun got blue paint. All joking aside, that did happen. Broke every bone in his legs. Tragic, but informative. Or so I'm told. The lab boys just informed me that I should not have mentioned the control group. They're telling me I ought to stop making these pre-recorded messages. That gave me an idea. Make more pre-recorded messages. I pay the bills here, I can talk about the control group all damn day. All these science spheres are made of asbestos, by the way. Keeps out the rats. Let us know if you feel a shortness of breath, a persistent dry cough, or your heart stopping, because that's not part of the test. That's asbestos. Good news is the lab boys say the symptoms of asbestos poisoning show a median latency of 44.6 years. So if you're 30 or older, you're laughing. Worst case scenario, you miss out on a few rounds of canasta. Plus, you forwarded the cause of science by 3 centuries. I punch those numbers into my calculator, it makes a happy face.
Okay, so we learned a lot about the past of Aperture, and now I'm able to get into it. But before I do that, bit off script. So we learned a lot about the origins of Aperture through here, and a lot of the old test chambers about how repulsion gel, propulsion gel, and how somebody consumed it and it bounced around inside them. Just thinking about that is absolutely fucking horrific. Blue paint, not being a control group, being used as a fucking control group, which is hard to think about. Getting nano devices into your brain, turning your blood to gasoline, putting chips in your brain that thinking about them in a high-stress scenario will make you die, overheating devices that need to get taken out of your brain, emancipation grills that can literally melt your eardrums. This whole facility was something else. Okay, now into the past of Aperture. Okay, now we have some info, and now I can talk about the past. If you like this type of storytelling compared to me telling you in a timeline fashion with neglecting some details for later, tell me in the comments, if you like this style. But, some games are more timeline-based, some games aren't, just tell me which one you like better, and I'll focus on that. But anyways, so Aperture started making shower curtains for the military in the beginning. Sometime later, they got a fat check from the government, and, then that's when they started doing everything science-related, and I mean everything. As they made advancements, they made advancements, they got bigger, fatter checks, and with that, they got better test subjects, went further, they're into the ground, and then Black Mesa started to make better advancements, and Aperture and Black Mesa fought for who would get government backing. Black Mesa did steal stuff from them, and Cave Johnson had to start thinking of things quick and made the handheld portal device, which, with all these advancements, he didn't give shit to the government, which could have saved his company, but as money dried up, so did the type of people he would use as test subjects. And as things got worse, the more unhinged our bloody legend got. And as things went downhill, he gave these men one last job. Okay, so as time, in early Aperture, they would try everything. Like, everything. Anything that was science related, take apart, put together. But after they stopped getting a lot of money, they started to hemorrhage it like hell, having to pay for all these big people, so they had to scale down and start working with hobos. And he started to get angry because he started to have to downgrade his standards because of money. Which the entire company started to really fall apart because they didn't have the money to do anything. Compared to the Golden Age, when they were able to do this and that, technological advancement this, technological advancement that. They discovered lasers before anyone, but at some point they ran out of money because of all of this and that. They eventually just ran out of cash, which is what led, and you know, with Cave Johnson getting sick while working on the portal device. Well, I'll let the clips, I'll let them speak for themselves.
Greetings, friend. I'm Cave Johnson, CEO of Aperture Science. You might know us as a vital participant in the 1968 Senate hearings on missing astronauts, and you've most likely used one of the many products we invented, but that other people have somehow managed to steal from us. Black Mesa can eat my bankrupt...
Sir, the testing?
Right. Now you might be asking yourself, Cave, just how difficult are these tests? What was in that phone book of a contract I signed? Am I in danger? Let me answer those questions with a question. Who wants to make $60? Cash. You can also feel free to relax for up to 20 minutes in the waiting room, which is a damn sight more comfortable than the park benches most of you were sleeping on when we found you. So, welcome to Aperture. You're here because we want the best, and you're it. Nope. Couldn't keep a straight face. Anyway, don't smudge up the glass down there. In fact, why don't you just go ahead and not touch anything, unless it's test related.
Oh, hi. Say, you're good at murder. Could you, murder this bird for me? Oh, thanks. Did you feel that? That idiot doesn't know what he's doing up there. This whole place is going to explode in a few hours if somebody doesn't disconnect him. I can't move, and unless you're planning to saw your own head off and wedge it into my old body, you're going to need me to replace him. We're at an impasse. So what do you say? You carry me up to him and put me back into my body, and I stop us from blowing up and let you go. No tricks. This potato only generates 1.1 volts of electricity. I literally do not have the energy to lie to you. Wow! You stabbed me! What is wrong with you? Hold on. Do you have a multimeter? Never mind. The gun must be part magnesium. It feels like I'm outputting an extra half a volt. Keep an eye on me. I'm going to do some scheming. Here I go. Oh, where are we? How long have I been out? That extra half volt helps, but it isn't going to power miracles. If I think too hard, I'm going to fry this potato before we get a chance to burn up in the atomic fireball that little idiot is going to... happen while I was out?
The testing area is just up ahead. The quicker you get through, the quicker you'll get your $60.
Hold on, who?
Carolyn, are the compensation vouchers ready?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir,
Mr.
Mr. Johnson. Why did I just... Who is that? What the hell is going on here? Okay, I guess emotional outbursts require more than 1.6 volts. Now we know that. We just need to relax. We're still going to find out what the hell's going on here, but calmly.
job, astronaut, war hero, and/or Olympian. With your help, we're gonna change the world. This on? Hey, listen up down there. That thing's called an elevator, not a bathroom.
I swear I know him.
If you're interested in an additional $60, flag down a test associate and let them know. You could walk out of here with 120 weighing down your bindle if you let us take you apart, put some science stuff in you, then put you back together, good as new. In case you're interested, there's still some positions available for that bonus opportunity I mentioned earlier. Again, all you gotta do is let us disassemble you. We're not banging rocks together here. We know how to put a man back together. So, that's a complete reassembly. New vitals, spit shine on the old ones, plus we're scooping out tumors. Frankly, you ought to be paying us. Thank you. I can't believe I'm thanking these people. for staggering your way through Aperture Science's propulsion gel testing. You've made some real contributions to society for a change, and for that, humanity is grateful. If you had any belongings, please pick them up now. We don't want old newspapers and sticks cluttering up the building. For many of you, I realize $60 is an unprecedented windfall, so don't go spending it all on, I don't know, Carolyn, what do these people buy? Tattered hats? Beard dirt?
great job. Can you handle things for yourself for a while? I need to think.
Welcome to the Enrichment Center. Since making test participation mandatory for all employees, the quality of our test subjects has risen dramatically. Employee retention, however, has not. As a result, you may have heard we're going to phase out human testing. There's still a few things left to wrap up, though. The bean counters told me we literally could not afford to buy $7 worth of moon rocks, much less 70 million. Bought them anyway, ground them up, mixed them into a gel. And guess what? Ground up moon rocks are pure poison. I am deathly ill. Still, it turns out they're a great portal conductor. So now, we're going to see if jumping in and out of these new portals can somehow leach the lunar poison out of a man's bloodstream. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Let's all stay positive and do some science. That said, I would really appreciate it if you could test as fast as possible. Carolyn, please bring me more pain pills. been thinking. When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad! I don't want your damn lemons! What am I supposed to do with these?
Take the lemons.
Demand to see Life's manager. Make Life rue the day it thought it could give Cave Johnson lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down with the lemons.
Oh, I like this guy.
I'm gonna get my engineers to invent a combustible lemon that burns your house down.
His house down. Burning people. He says what we're all thinking.
The point is, if we can store music on a compact disc, why can't we store a man's intelligence and personality on one? So I have the engineers figuring that out now. Brain mapping, artificial intelligence. We should have been working on it 30 years ago. I will say this, and I'm gonna say it on tape so everybody hears it 100 times a day. If I die before you people can pour me into a computer, I want Carolyn to run this place. Now she'll argue. She'll say she can't. She's modest like that, but you make her. Hell, put her in my computer. I don't care. All right, test's over. You can head on back to your desk.
Well, as Cave Johnson was poisoned by all the moon rocks he was working on and trying to make combustible fucking lemons. Oh, what was the lemon speech? I need to find that real quick. And, you know, as his life deteriorated, he, you know, talked about how if life gives you lemons, you know. You know, fun fact, lemons are made by humans, which means life didn't give us lemons, we created them. And in the great words of Cave Johnson, when life gives you lemons, you don't take the lemons. You make life take the lemons back. Get mad! I don't want your damn lemons. What the hell am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life rule the day they thought they could give Cave Johnson lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man that's going to burn your house down with the lemons. I'm going to get my engineers to invent combustible lemons that burns your house down. I fucking love that quote. Because that is so fucking metal. Combustible fucking lemons. Think about that. That is a cool idea. That is something I want to see done. Lemons that can burn houses down. That is a beautiful idea. I can't be the only one who thought about that. Like, are they feasible? Are they actually makeable? That'd be fun. Imagine if you could, like, combustible lemons. Just saying, sounds awesome. But, anyways, he wanted to put a man's brain into a disc, like music and stuff like that, so he could live forever, but he died before anything could get worked on. Spoilers, he did eventually get put into something at some point because of Aperture Desk Job existing. I would cover Aperture Desk Job and show clips, but boy, I want a Steam Deck, but Jesus fucking Christ, they are expensive. And they run Linux, so some games won't run on Linux. I don't know what I have. I heard SteamOS might get released to the public. Lus Gary's mod. Therefore, mayhaps I might become a Linux user when Windows 10 dies and 11's all that's left this October. I feel like Microsoft might continue to update Windows 10 after October, because I feel like they might realize outrage, and I feel like when you're forced to upgrade to Microsoft Windows 11, you don't have to, but I believe it's XP or Vista. If you try to boot any of those up, a Russian hacker will automatically be in your system, and you have like a minute to shut the shit down before you lose complete access and they get your web address, your IP, all your accounts, everything connected to that device. Which is, I'm just gonna say, this October, when it's like there will be no new updates, I'm immediately gonna have to switch to 11. I don't like working with 11 because, a while back, I worked with 11 a little. Because, my internal graphics, started getting real, like, buggy. So, I was like, well, then I'll just switch to Windows 11 and see if Windows 10's messing with my internal graphics. Anytime I'd open up Gary's mod, it would crash. Or, well, Windows 11 would force shut down. So, I plugged in an old thing. I don't know if it'll work now, but when I have to switch, hopefully Gary's mod will work. But that's kind of why I don't like 11. Outside of that, I'm not really sure what's going on with Windows 11, but yeah. Well, that's a side tangent to pad up time on intentionally. But yeah, Cave Johnson wanted to put his brain onto a disc, but he died from moon rock poison or whatever, and he wanted his assistant, wife, lover, whatever the fuck Catherine was, to be uploaded in his absence, thus creating GLaDOS, which means GLaDOS is Catherine, and Catherine is GLaDOS. So yeah, we are slunking through the backup facility when we eventually see Wheatley working with some, like, a smart thing, actually, kinda. The Franken-cubes, which are sentries smashed into cubes. Into companion cubes. So they could solve tests on their own. Which is kinda genius, that I'll admit. And, you know, we hop in there and he's like, you know what, you're our test subject now. And, you know, GLaDOS tries to use a paradox. The companion cubes explode, but he goes false. Jesus fucking Christ. He is so much of a moron that the sentries have more brain power than him. That is insane. But the ones she used make no sense. Like, the paradox I would use is... Like, personally, a paradox I would use would be... Oh, what is it? Oh, what's a good paradox? I don't think a paradox is often... Oh, here's... Hold on. My brain has one. It would be, being dead, but being... If you're dead, you're not alive, but being alive means you are dead, or something like that. I don't know, no paradoxes. I'm no genius. I have enough brain cells to breathe. And that's more than enough for me. But anyways. So, we go through some of the tests, you know, some tests he made, which GLaDOS was like, okay, good news. You aren't going to die. I didn't really stockpile any of my tests. And then it turns out there was a stockpile, and it's like, oh, I forgot I stockpiled them. So, yeah. We run through a bunch of tests that are mostly cobbled together. Oh, wow. I got a lot to talk about. Okay, so. we learn that when a test subject does something, Wheatley gets like endorphins. But it turns out GLaDOS tells us that you build up a tolerance to it extremely quick, meaning he isn't getting his euphoria he would usually do from completing these tests. So he tries to make things either more complicated or bring us closer to him. I know, like, he's the dumbest moron to ever moron, but Jesus Christ. You'd think there would be a level, a monicum, a crumb of intelligence. There is, but he uses it for the wrong places. Anyways, so, GLaDOS eventually, we learn that she can't tell them how to complete tests. Neither can Wheatley, because if you do, you get shocked, because that is not letting them complete the tests. That is just you telling them. I like the ideal of the scientist putting that in, being the cheeky bastard he is. So we eventually escape when we're close enough, and we don't really sabotage anything. We just kind of run through the back end of the facility and find some old corrupted cubes. And we need to get him to be so corrupted so GLaDOS could be back in control, which brings up the question of corrupted cores. He's not corrupted, but he's doing the same thing she would do. Which brings up the whole question of, what does corruption mean for cores? But yeah, she's like, okay, you go, and I'll send you commanding cubes. We get him corrupted enough, and then I take control. With that plan made, we go into Wheatley's domain, and, well, I'll let my shitty gameplay and into the game clip speak for itself. Because we all know showing's better than telling.
Corrupted cores, we're in luck. You find a way to stun him, I'll send you a core, and then you attach it to him. If we do it a few times, he might become corrupt enough for another core transfer. Plug me in and I'll take a look. Even if you think we're still enemies, we're enemies with a common interest. Revenge. You like revenge, right? Everybody likes revenge. Well, let's go get some.
Well. Welcome
To my lair!
Let me just flag something up. According to the control panel light up there, the entire building is going to self-destruct in about 6 minutes. I'm pretty sure it's a problem with the light. I think the light's on the blink, but just in case it isn't, I am actually going to have to kill you, as discussed earlier. So let's call that 3 minutes, and then a minute break, where we should leave allegedly 2 minutes to figure out how to shut down whatever is starting all the fires. So anyway, that's the itinerary. Also, I took the liberty of watching the tapes of you killing her, and I'm not going to make the same mistakes. 4-part plan is this. 1. No portal surfaces. 2. Start the neurotoxin immediately. 3. Bomb-proof shields for me, leading directly on to number 4, bombs for throwing at you. You know what? This plan is so good, I'm going to give you a sporting chance and turn off the neurotoxin. I'm joking, of course. Goodbye.
Neurotoxin level at capacity in 5 minutes.
Where are you going? Don't run! Don't run! I'll tell you why you should run. The harder you breathe, the more neurotoxin you'll inhale. It's bloody heavy. Seriously, seven. Do not press that button!
We're so close, don't press the button!
No! Do not do it! I forbid you to press it!
Press it, press the button!
Don't press that button!
Press it!
Don't press it! Come back!
Press the button!
No! No! We're in space!
Space.
Let go! Let go! I'm still connected! I can pull myself in! I can still fix this!
I already fixed it, and you are not coming back.
Oh no! Change your plans! Hold on to me! Tighter! Ah! Grab me! Grab me! Grab me! Grab me!
Oh, thank God, you're all right. You know, being Carolyn taught me a valuable lesson. I thought you were my greatest enemy, when all along you were my best friend. The surge of emotion that shot through me when I saved your life taught me an even more valuable lesson, where Carolyn lives in my brain.
Carolyn, delete.
Goodbye, Carolyn. You know, deleting Carolyn just now taught me a valuable lesson. The best solution to a problem is usually the easiest one. And I'll be honest, killing you is hard. You know what my days used to be like? I just tested. Nobody murdered me, or put me in a potato, or fed me to birds. I had a pretty good life. And then you showed up, you dangerous, mute lunatic. So you know what? You win. Just go.
Okay, last clip. So, we beat Wheatley, but you know, he kind of learned from GLaDOS's mistakes. But Jesus Christ, is he still a fucking moron? So, yeah, we get him corrupted enough, GLaDOS takes control, now he's in space. But he at least regrets it. And if he could, he would apologize. And I believe it might have been MatPat or somebody, but I think they can re-enter entry because personality cores can't survive, you know, all Aperture Science things can survive like a minimum. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, you know, GLaDOS realizes that killing us is a pain in her ass. A pain she does not want to deal with. And she has learned the easiest way to get rid of take the easiest way to get rid of a problem. And killing Shell is fucking hard. So she just frees us. Sometime after that, in the Portal 2 multiplayer, we do a couple things for the facility. We open up a human vault. She runs out of test subjects. We help her raise baby birds or some shit. I can't remember. It's been like forever. And, yeah. Aperture desk job happens at some point. I don't remember a lot about it. It's been like... it's been a while. But, yeah, Aperture Desk Job did show that Cave Johnson did indeed get, you know, his memory put into a massive head of himself. That he wanted to die, so he put him out of his misery. I think it's been forever. I watched, I think, Jack or Mark. It's been forever. It might have been Dan. God. It's been like over 3 years. Holy fuck. I feel older. The more I realize how things are... it only felt like 2 years. My perception of time is falling apart. I'm aging faster, but perception of time can't compensate. If I'm losing it now, thanks. Anyways. So Aperture Desk Job, from what I remember, it's a Steam Deck exclusive, and it is fucking expensive. I don't have money. Most of the games you've seen me play were either games I've owned for a long time or games that I obtained through less than legal means that a certain game dev known as Hikita approved of. But I bought Ultra Kill. Fun fact, the first time I ever played Ultra Kill was using, Jack Sparrow joke here. I sailed the 7 seas, and Hikita approved. And I eventually bought the game before the Ultra Revamp came out. Like, if you guys want evidence, I can, like, literally screenshot me owning the game now. But, yeah. That's kind of how I got the game from the beginning. Why am I talking about piracy? I don't remember. But, yeah. I don't remember a lot about Aperture Desk Job since, you know, I got no cash. And, yeah, because you need the Steam Deck to play it. So, I just vaguely remember it's either Jack, Mark, or Dan. I don't remember which one, or Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, or Dan TDM, one of the three. I don't remember which one played Aperture Desk Job. I swear to God, when I saw that game, I was like, oh my god, they're going to bring back the Portal franchise. No. When Half-Life Alyx came out, I was like, finally, we're going to get Half-Life 3. Maybe. There's been a lot of words of something called Half-Life X. Half-Life 3 confirmed. Maybe. Please, I swear to God. I did some math. Okay. Because I was playing Half-Life, I was like, okay, so there's 60 frames per second. In a minute, it would be like, I think it was 12,200 frames per per minute. So I asked myself, what would an hour be? Because timesing that by 60 would just be, or timesing it by 2 or something like that, would just be another minute. So multiplying it by itself would be a minute and a minute. No, that would be adding, so multiplying, that would be an hour. How many frames would it be if something was in 60 frames per second for an hour? How many frames would that be is my question. But anyways, losing my sanity and all that aside, that is this week's video. If I get it out on time. But anyways, I do hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. I really do enjoy making this, which I had a lot of fun with. I don't really get to do a lot of puzzle games, and you know, I got to have fun with this one. But with that being said, you know the drill. Please like, subscribe, you know, all that stuff. Give me engagement. It really does help with the algorithm. Comment down below if I missed anything, or if you want to suggest a game I should check out, or something like that. Or you can just say anything you'd like to say. Just don't be a dick like the last guy. And with that being said, that's all I have to say, and that's the Lore Maker signing off.